there, it's Jen. Today I'm back to show you how to use a stamp to create patterned paper. Sometimes, you look for patterned paper to use in a card or a scrapbook page and you just can't find the right one that's going to work for what you're wanting to do. So I'm going to show you how to use your stamps to create background images. Excuse me. And this one is really pretty simple. It might be a little bit time consuming, but not horrible. So I'm going to start off with a card base, and this card base is cut the long way. So it measures 11 by 4 1/4. 11 the long way, 4 1/4. And I will use my grid paper to draw some guidelines. And this is really quite simple. I like to work right to left, so it might be a little backwards for some of you, but you'll get the idea here. I will start at the 3 3/4 mark, and I'm going to draw a very light pencil line. And then I'm going to move over 1 inch, so to 2 3/4, and draw another light pencil line. And move my way across, so 1 3/4, and another light pencil line. And then finally to just 3/4 and another pencil line. I try and keep this where, my card is 4 1/4, so I don't want the last line to end at the edge of a card. So I have to think a little bit about not ending on the 1/4 inch. And same thing going this way. I'm going to do my first line at 5 1/4, because that's 5 1/2, and so I don't want my last line to be on the half mark. So then I'm going to go to 4 1/4, and you get the idea here, right? 3 1/4. Okay, so, and I would continue that all the way down, but I've gone ahead and did that so you don't have to watch the whole me do all those lines. Now I am using the Flourish from the stamp set Tiny Tags, and here's that little flourish. Now when I went to stamp this, before I even stamped it, I really trimmed down my stamp so that I had some points to work with. Okay, I'm going to use this point and this point to line up with my pencil lines, to line up with the vertical pencil lines. And then I will use, and this one's really hard to see, but I will use this point over here and a kind of a point over here to line up with the horizontal lines. This saves me from having to drag out my Stamp-A-Majig, and I think I just get a more, I get a truer pattern, almost like wallpaper maybe. So anyway, I'm going to use this image and ink it up in Calypso Coral, which is the same color as the paper. And I'm going to stamp. Oops. Okay, well I totally missed that, and that's because my camera's in the way. But you guys are going to get the idea. So I stamp lining those up. There, I can see better this way. I line those points up on the vertical line and those other points up on the horizontal line. And I don't want to forget to stamp this last little image that would, even though it's just a little tiny dot, I don't want to forget to stamp that over there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And here I'm stamping not on a line at all. I'm stamping right in the center of a square. And it's actually pretty easy to line that up every time. You see how I'm doing that? And here I'm just going to get in part of a square. But you really, once you get going, you really get a feel for where your stamp needs to go on those lines. And it goes quite smooth, actually. You can see here I've got quite a bit of my card already filled up, and it doesn't really take all that long. It's just a little bit tedious maybe, I don't know. But I honestly, I need to put this one up here. I don't mind making these background stamps. I think it really helps when I don't have the perfect pattern paper that I'm looking for. And I also think, whoopsie, I also think that it doesn't have to be perfect, because you can always cover something up if you need to, like my big goof there. But I also think once I have the entire card finished, you're not going to notice it all that much. So I will continue to do that all the way down my card until it's complete. And here I have one that I've already done. So here's the whole card is stamped, and now I just need to go back with my eraser and erase my pencil lines. And here's where you want a really nice eraser. I like to use a soft white one. I really like these, oh, it's just a Bic mechanical pencil, and I'm one of those people that likes a really sharp pencil all the time, so I go for a mechanical pencil usually. So once you have all those lines erased, then you have this really nice background image that's in a great pattern. And you could really use any stamp that you wanted to, big or small. You know, you could go with a bigger stamp image for this. Okay, so now to complete this card, you see we've got quite a bit of things going on here, and a lot of this is sneak peeks for you guys. So to get this great scallop edge on the bottom, what I used was the die from Apothecary Accents. And to do that, you know what, it's so easy. All you're going to do is you're going to feed your card, the entire card, because it will cut through both the front and the back. You're going to feed your entire card through like this. Now, I like to use a little bit of painter's tape to hold that in place. So I grab some painter's tape and take some of that tack out of there. But I also, you know, here's another trick. I also don't put the tape on any of my card that I'm going to keep. So this little section here is going to get pitched. So I don't mind putting tape on that because, you know what, if the tape sticks to the cardstock and happens to tear the cardstock a little, it's not going to matter. So you're going to run that through your Big Shot like this. And what I tend to do is, here's how I make my sandwich. You're going to have your Big Shot platform all the way closed, but then I do my sandwich so that the edge of where that needs to cut is going to meet the edge of the cutting plate, just like that. And then I don't get a massive line across my card. So that's how I would run that through the Big Shot. And then you end up with a nice image like this. Okay. What I've also done is I went and heat embossed in our new Pool Party embossing powder. I heat embossed the chevron pattern from a new stamp set, Oh Hello. I love this stamp set, by the way. So I heat embossed that in Pool Party, and I'm just going to stick that down. I like to use Tombow, you know. I die cut that with our new ovals die. They'll be released January 3rd. And so I have that, okay. I like how this oval syncs perfectly with the shape of this oval. It's like they're meant to be layered together. So I really, really like that. Then I took, for a pop of color, I took a piece of Rich Razzleberry, and also from the Oh Hello stamp set, I used the Thanks So Much, but I'm going to take some Versamark and just ink up the thanks portion, like that, and stamp that on my Rich Razzleberry piece. like so. And then we'll bring in the Pool Party embossing powder. What I really like about this is that, you know what, you can do this lighter color and it really pops on that dark cardstock. So I do that. Oopsie, I have a mess there, don't I? No. I'll clean up that mess here with my handy fingernail tool. We all have those. I actually would prefer to use a paintbrush if I had one handy here. But anyway, you're going to heat emboss that up and then emboss it with our new embossing folder. Listen to all these new things. Isn't that fun? I love new stuff. So once you heat emboss that, then let it cool and then emboss it with our new embossing folder. And you know what? The name of it is leaving my mind right now. So anyway, I think it's stitches or it's something about stitches. I'd have to look that up. Anyway, no big deal. And lastly, I stamped a butterfly from the Papillion Potpourri. I used the graphic image, kind of to go with this graphic image. And then tied some Pool Party ribbon, which is a celebration item. I tied some Pool Party ribbon across there and tied it with some Pool Party baker's twine. And there we have this cute little butterfly. Here's one last thing I love about this card, is you know what? There's no buttons on it, so when you go to mail it, it's not going to cost you extra. And actually, I'm making a set of these up for my grandma to give to her for Christmas because she's going to appreciate not having to spend the extra postage. So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this card today. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know, and you can find me next week again on stampsilly.blogspot.com. Thanks.